and gentlemen. Welcome back to the podcast through thick and thin, formerly known as Beginner's Competitors Corner. It's your girl, Lady Florence. Today, I want to talk to you. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to talk to you about sometimes, and maybe you're there, and I certainly going through this journey right now, where you need to press the reset button. See, a couple of weeks ago, I was just like scrolling down my IG page and watching my last competition that I did in past last year, and I was reliving the moment where I felt so proud, and stuff, and how I was feeling at that moment, like looking forward to my off season and all the games and things I was going to do, and I was as I was like, you know, in my room and looking at my pictures, and I had to face the hard truth that I was really far away from the goals that I had set for myself that year. And and then like then I immediately needed to press like the emergency reset button. And then, like, when you have a computer and when things are not working out, all the programs are frozen and stuck and it's like not progressing, nothing is working. What do? We press that reset button, right? To erase whatever it's not working and to start anew, to set back to the default values. And, you know, and that's life. Like life all this year, like life gets messy. We get stressed, there's other priorities. But what I'm realizing is that it's important to recognize when the plan that you're doing no longer serves you, no longer serves your current reality, it is no longer aligned with the goals that you had set yourself. And this is where I was, and maybe you're there too, right? And the plans that the fitness plans you were on, the training program, it's just not serving, it's not working. Or maybe it's your mindset, the mindset that you currently have is not longer serving you. And you have to, be self aware and press that reset button and say, wait a minute, like, we got to stop all of this. Like, if I continue to this, I'm just going to just not only be stuck but feel stuck, feel like I'm not progressing. I need to press that reset button. And I'm sure we've all been there, like set big goals, and we fell short, especially now when we're looking at the end of the year, we're in 2025, like many, like I know I'm not alone when we're realizing that, I fell short from the goals that I've set and feels like a failure. And I want to tell you that if you're feeling like that, like you're definitely not alone. But the truth is that when you hit the reset button, well, you're choosing to grow. You're choosing to learn from this situation. And the fact that you know that you need to reset the button, it's actually a step closer towards your goals. And then you're going to look at this one day. And I was like, that reset button was necessary for you to reach that next level that you needed to. So it's not a setback, okay? A reset button, it's not a setback. Today, we're going to talk about not only when we need to press the reset button, but we reset, we reassess, and we restart, okay? So reset, it's not a failure. It's just, you know what? What I thought was going to work did not work out. And it's okay. Okay? Forgive yourself, have grace, have compassion for yourself. It's okay. Because during that period, when you were collecting information, like now we're going to go into that, like what we assess. Now you have the information to do better because now you know better. Okay? So nothing is a failure. It's only a lesson, right? You're depositing, you're growing. And now it's time to grow. It's time to grow. It's time for us to reach the next level. Never again. Never again are we going to go there. Okay. Okay. So now we've talked about like when we need to press the reset button, and, and we just have to be honest with ourselves. Like perhaps like we didn't do the things that we said we're going to do. Like we didn't really train. We missed a couple of trainings. We didn't follow the diet, or sometimes like the program you followed was not aligned with the goals, right? Or it didn't work for you because, we all are individuals. We respond different things. Maybe this is not what you needed at that moment in the season in your life. Now that you have pressed the reset button, now we have to look at why, okay? We have to look at reassessing. So reset, reassess, like why did it not work? Okay, this is not like an attack. This is an opportunity for you to go deep inside and evaluate like what worked and what didn't work. And that information, whatever you get, is going to help you to learn from it and be better. For instance, it could be that, the goals you had, like maybe didn't align with where you were in your life. Like maybe it was too aggressive. Maybe it was not realistic. Were your goals realistic, right? Depending on where you are, like if you're trying to lose weight, or in your building phase, or in your off season, like I was, and where you have to gain a little bit of weight, but you still want to build, but you have to look at what worked and what didn't work. Because journeys, depending on the phase you are in your fitness journey, are going to be different. And I'm not thinking about only looking at the scale, because the scale is just an information. But you have to look also on different elements. You have to look at how you feel, right? And also, did your relationships, either with food or even your family or your significant others, people that you have, like did it get better, your works? Because when you're in your off season, and I believe in every season you should have progress, right? You should have certain way to measure what works or what didn't work. And sometimes a tool, a certain training can work in a type of season where you are in life, but sometimes you need something different. And and if you do that, it's just not going to work, and you're going to see your body resistant or going against it, right? You need different ingredients, different tools for different seasons, different season or phases in your fitness. For instance, I'll give you an example, and you have to be accountable, and which you have to be real with yourself and tell yourself the truth. What worked and what didn't work. For instance, did I not, like, I like my diet, but like maybe like meal plan works best for me versus like a macro when I have more freedom. And maybe it could be that, I had too many free meals or fun meals or cheat meals. Like I need to restrict that. And the only way you're gonna know that is if you're diligently tracking, or taking notes, or have a journal of, daily or weekly. Daily is a bit maybe too much, but at least weekly journal on how you are doing and measuring these. Not only I'm not talking about just your weight, but measuring, taking your progress photos, how you're feeling, your sleep, your stress, food with relationship, all of that. Like also like what is your need, like how many steps are you taking per day? All of this is going to provide you information needed. And for instance, I'll share for me, it was during my off season, like obviously like the scale is not that important, but it is important to some extent. And what I've learned, because it's not about pointing fingers, it's about what I've learned from reassessing this thing, is that I would what I've learned and what I'm sharing with you for you to learn is that sometimes what you need to improve is you'll notice that maybe you're a bit emotional with certain things, and you need to introduce some process. So moving forward, you're not going to be driven by your emotion to lead you on a path that is not working because you're led by emotion. And sometimes you need to use your rational brain and a process. So by me learning what didn't work, now I have developed a process for me to readjust and press the reset button faster, instead of waiting for everything to crash. For instance, for me, what I've specifically what it is for me is that now I know that if I'm doing a program, and for me, because I'm tracking everything, at least weekly in detail, in 4 weeks, I should be able to tell if this is working or trending in the direction that I'm not working. And I'm no longer going to wait like 8 weeks or like even 11 months before saying like, hey, this is not working. So for me now, the process that I've developed is 4 weeks. I'm trying to program. I'm also looking to see like how I feel in terms of the diet. Like, am I wanting to eat this food? Does this food satiate me? Like how I'm feeling, because that's important. Because the more you like something, you're training the food. The better not only you're going to be more compliant, adhere to it, but the more effort you're going to be into, and the more compliant it's going to help you. So all of these details matter. So I'm giving myself a 4 week process. And if it doesn't work now, I communicate that, and then we need to make adjustments. And I've also implemented a process that, you have to decide that for yourself. Like, how many chances are you going to give yourself a program to course correct? Is it once? Is it twice? Is it 3 times? Like, how many chances are you going to give the course correction route? And that number may be different for everyone. Some people say like, you know what, if it's not working the first time, I'm out. I'm changing program. I'm changing my diet. I'm doing something else. For people that, let me tweak maybe something. I'll give myself like another like course correction after I realize it's not working. Maybe another chance. And some people it might be like 3. But you decide what that number is. But you have to be able to communicate that. Communicate that if you're working with someone, or if you're working on yourself, like have that discussion with yourself, I guess. And then in several ways, like if it's not communication, you can write it down just to make sure that you really see like the where you are now and where you are before. So find like 2 ways of, if you're working with person, is like find a way to communicate it verbally, and then perhaps like writtenly, and always give the chance to course correct. And after the course correct, how much time are you going to give to see if it improves and it gets better, right? Is it another 4 weeks? Is it 2 weeks? Is it another 4 weeks? So decide what that process is, and whatever it is, that system, follow through, and then it's the decision making. So this is what I had to come up with, remove my emotions from things, and really just focus on this process, to see if it meets the goal. So this is what you need to do. Like if you're not progressing, if you're not improving, and you're following a regimen, a program, like, you cannot let your emotion and be sentimental about it. You need to be honest with yourself first, and then you need to course correct and find a process for you to be able to do so, right? So pressing the reset button has allowed me not only to reassess, but also to develop a process moving forward. So I do not, so I did not end up back having to press the reset button, because now I know when this application start to give me a funny number that it's not supposed to, or when I press this button, it gives me this, and I know it's not supposed to, then I know that this program is not working. So maybe I don't need to shut down the whole computer, reboot my computer, and restart this program. Maybe all I need to do is close the application, and maybe I need to upgrade the application or get another one if it keeps giving me the bug. So those are the decisions you need to make. So how many, how many times, or what is the length duration that you're going to give? So you decide what your process is, but most importantly is to remove the emotion part of it and develop a process for you to course correct so you do not find yourself in that same situation again. And another thing that I've learned too in terms of reassessment is now I know without a doubt what my body responds to. And whatever, like who you're working with or whatever, like yes, they may, or a program that you get online, like it may work for a broad, broadly for a lot of people, but it may not work for you. And you have to remember that you know yourself, especially if you're a person that's diligently taking, tracking everything, you know, you know yourself. And also, you know your body, you know yourself better than anyone else. So if you know that it's not working, trust yourself. That's what I'm saying. Like basically, trust yourself. Trust yourself that you know what's working and not working, especially if you know that you've put in the work and you're a person that is aware and also that tracks things, right? So trust yourself that what you're seeing is exactly that. The numbers, the numbers, or the clothes not fitting. Like trust yourself that, especially if you know that. Wait a minute, like I'm not necessarily getting stronger. Like if you're not necessarily getting stronger, and you're not necessarily fitting on your clothes, then maybe I'm not necessarily building muscles as I thought I was, right? So just be honest with yourself, and as hard as it can be, but you got to do that, and you got to reassess and look back to in the past, because you know what has worked for you in the past. And I'm not saying that your off season has to be like, sorry, if I'm speaking in terms of like competitors, but that's the world I come from. But when I say off season, I mean like your building season. Doesn't have to be the same as your prep or your cutting season. Like I know that, right? It's not going to look the same. But in terms of you should still feel like you're making progress, especially in your strength, and it should yeah, especially in your strength, and you got to assess that. Okay, so we said you need to reset, reassess what works, what has worked, what didn't work, and then on top of that, you need to develop a process, evaluation process, so you do not end up back again, and also getting information. Now, for a fact, I know that it was not all for naught. Now I know for a fact that my body needs a certain things for it to respond. It needs a certain minimum of cardio per week for it to respond. Like I can never do like zero cardio. That's just not my body, right? And especially as a natural athlete, you don't have this enhancement things. So when you look at other people, oh, I'm not doing this, but like remember, like the enhanced athletes, and especially me, a type of person that has been in a bigger body before, my body is always going to tend to, given the chance, always going to want to revert back to the bigger body. So I have to be a little bit more strict and less lenient on certain things, um, because it's just the way that my body is, and it needs a certain amount of stimulus in the training, and I know that now, and also stimulus into the cardio for it to respond the way that I want to. So now we're here. We're at the point where you need to restart, right? What worked, what you did in the past didn't work. And now that we assess, you understand why it didn't work. And now you're at the point where you need to press. You need to restart, But you must remember that when you restart, like you're not restarting from scratch. you are starting with experience, right? So basically, what I'm saying is that you're building from where you were before, right? So each time you get better, better. So before you were there, yes, we are restarting. Before you were there, we are restarting. You were there. Now you're restarted, but you're not restarting there. You're restarting there. So right. So in other words, your growth is it's going to be a little bit faster. It's not it's not going to be like you're starting from zero. So and it's okay. Like I'm excited. New program, new nutrition, and I can't wait for to share with you how this is going to go in the next few months because we have to think long term, right? And remember, like, it's not a failure. Like restarting is it's not a failure. Nothing is linear, and this is the reason why I call this podcast through thick and thin, because growth is not linear, and you have to go through the it's ebbs and flows. You have to have the valleys, you have to have the peaks, and it's all about the process and the journey of the fitness. So I just wanted to be real with y'all and share with you the ups and downs and learning and growing. And this this is going to be part of the story, and it's only going to make you a better athlete, a better when I say athlete, I'm just not referring to only people who compete, but like to me, like anybody who's into fitness, you're an athlete, right? So it's going to make you a better athlete, a better person, a better version of you, knowing that you have gone through that failure or that lesson in your life. Okay, so basically it's like lesson learned. Just remember, like progress is not linear. Fitness is not a straight plan. Trust me. And it's messy and it's full of ups and downs, even not only as a competitor, but like even more so when you're just like doing lifestyle. And every every phase is an opportunity to grow, and you can only be better. So remember, like, stay adaptable, be flexible, and always be willing to pivot and rewrite your goals and your life changes, right? And most importantly, like, you're not a failure if you need to restart, you need to press the reset. And remember that you're strong for choosing to do so. And I also want to say that when you're going through this, it's important to go and seek some not only accountability, like ask people like, have you noticed this? Like people that you trust, right? People who have your best interests, and talk to someone and try to find some support. And while you're doing so, find some guidance, some mentors, or maybe like a supportive community, or even like, finding like a coach that may be able to understand what you're going through. And yeah. Now, if you're feeling stuck right now, I mean, I want to offer you a word of encouragement. Like, first of all, like, you're not alone, and it's okay to feel like if you're feeling stuck, frustrated, or even mad at yourself, okay? It's okay. Like, what you're feeling is completely normal. You're not alone. If you're overwhelmed, like you felt like you dropped the ball, you're falling behind. Like, this is not where you're supposed to be. This is not what you plan to be. Like, it's okay. Like, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay. Like, I challenge you today to leave it all behind, and let's press the reset button together. Press it with me, okay? Let's reassess our goals and restart together. And one way to do so to help you go through this time is to journal your current struggles and your goals. Identify small wins, daily wins, and that are also actionable every day and that you can implement today, okay? So the next step you're going to do is, obviously course correct, find a new plan, whether it's, going back to, what worked, or your books, whatever you find training plan in the books. Now there's many things online, or online training, or a new coach, or whatever. Commit to a new plan and to checking in, right? checking in regularly, never keeping your eyes off the goal. And for me, I had to readjust that. Never again in an off season where I'm gonna go weeks without checking the scale. Although I know it's not main. You're not trying to lose weight. It may play with you, but um, it's not something that I'm going to do for at least more than a week ever again, especially in the off plans, especially when I know my body is so sensitive to changes. And that's going to be part of the process where I'm going to keep my eye on that. So commit to check it in regularly, and also like drop a comment, like tell me like where are you in your fitness journey? Are you right now having to press the reset? Are you restarting? Are you reassessing? Like, let's restart this new year. 2025 is upon us coming. Like, let's reset. Let's restart, you know? So just remember that your fitness journey is yours, and it's okay to stumble, to fall, and to start over. What matters, like seriously, what really matters is that you keep going. Like, keep going. Don't give up on you. You know what are the dreams and goals that God has deposited in your heart. Only you know. So don't forget it. Don't forget them, and keep going. Again, thank you for your support, and thank you for listening, and invite you if you want to subscribe to follow this journey to more real unfiltered fitness content, to Thick and Fit podcast, and working on having a different type of guests as well. So make sure to subscribe, and looking forward to the next time. Thank you and have a great day. And remember, um, stay strong and keep going. Never give up.